The question is, what energy states facilitate a new beginning? What energy states facilitate a new beginning? Mother Mary, I have a question. What energy states facilitate a new beginning? Welcome, 999 Show, my alter ego. What just happened? Humira, welcome. And a couple other cards popped out. Let us see what facilitates a new beginning. It comes from a place of knowing. It comes from a place of being uninspired and overburdened. And in this state, one can resurrect themselves, because a 10 tens become ones, become new beginnings. That final push forward, you get to the top of the hill, you reach that point where you have that sweet, sweet success. But right before that, it's a feeling as though there is no end in sight. It's like you're never going to get there. That is what precedes the feeling before you just push a little bit harder and you reach that end, the top of the hill. I will be right there with your question, Humira. And we're looking at 15, 7. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just finish this later. We'll finish this later and we'll come to your question. So you want to move to Europe. Welcome. Welcome, Delphine. $828, number 1. Do you have all your paperwork in order, Humira? Do you have the money, the finances to go? So, how soon When will be ready to move to Europe? When will? Like how soon? How soon? This is Tools of Fortune, and I am your reader, Bill, and welcome. So the question is for Humera. Humera wants to move to Europe and wants to know when this will happen. How soon will this happen? I'm assuming, Humera, that you have your passports, your paperwork, and you have the cash, and you have a job lined up. You have a job lined up to go there? You know, your country destination? To have those factors in place? When will you be ready? What kind of states of being do you need to make this big move within yourself? An adventuring spirit? All right. Why don't you? I'm gonna just shuffle a little bit, but then when you feel, Humera, that it's time for me to stop shuffling, and I will stop shuffling. Hail Mary, welcome, Monica. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray. Mary, Mother Mary, Humera wants to move to Europe. How soon will she? When will this happen? When and what will facilitate this move to Europe? What will facilitate this move to Europe? Well, it looks like the things that we have coming before welcome, Monica. So it seems like you need to prepare yourself mentally. You have to really, really prepare yourself mentally to make this move, because it shows here that you're not prepared. You haven't prepared your mind yet. You haven't prepared all, you're not completely prepared to go. So there's a mental preparation, and some of this mental preparation may be getting the money together, getting the job. If you don't have a job already, getting a job outlined there in Europe, so that when you get your visas and you get all this stuff together, just the physical paperwork to go. That is part of this mental preparation, to just to make sure you got all your ducks in a row, to think about everything that you need to do to make a a move to move, because that's a long distance. You're moving from Asia to Europe. That's like what, 5,000 miles. Now the distance doesn't really matter, but you're moving from essentially one continent to another continent. It's a huge adventure, and it requires having much preparation, preparing the for all kinds of different realities. The money, having the money available, having the money in far as how having it in a bank account, but also having traveling money in cash, but not too much that you're going to alert the authorities by traveling with too much cash. Just enough. Wearing your cash on your body in a money belt, making sure that you don't get searched when you travel. Keeping you have your mental preparations, but you also just have your own physical. Humira, I'm doing your reading right now. I'm doing your reading. You ask the question of how soon will you be ready to move to Europe, and this is the cards that popped out. You don't know about that? Okay. Oh, your power went down. Oh, wait, I started. GTWC, I'll get you a reading here in a minute. Okay, so your power went down short. So what started here is that what I'm starting here is that we start first with what cards show is you're not mentally prepared to go. So you have to make all the preparations you need to go to Europe happen. So what I was saying while the power was going down, and you can go back, refer back to this, but you have a lot of preparations that need to be made. Your mental preparations, you have to get all your ducks in order. The job, the cash, the plate. Well, if you got the job, then you have the place, then the visas and all, your passports and all these things. You have to do your research and get all the things prepared, okay, for making this move. But then you also need to prepare yourself for being away from your family. You have to be prepared for the fact that you're going to be heartsick, you're going to be lonely, you're going to be heartbroken. At the same time, yes, you are going to be excited, but you're going to a brand new place where you do not know anybody. Maybe you know one or two people, but for the most part, you're going someplace new. You're going to go live as an expat, or you're going to go to school. Are you going to school? Or you're going to have a job. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're going to be doing over there, whether it be a job. You're going to go there to work, or you're going to go there to get an education. So if you're going there, you have the school, and so there's all these mental preparations you have to make. And so what the tarot says is you're not mentally prepared to go quite yet. So you've got to get your mind in order. But it also is showing that you have the skills, the thinking skills. You have the knowledge necessary to make this move. But at the same time, you have this reverse tower coming up in there. You're going to be faced with, while you are making your mental preparations, you're going to be faced with having to reevaluate your entire world, your entire way of thinking, your entire everything is going to be made again. So maybe, Humira, I was channeling you while I was thinking about the the thumbnail and the theme of today's show of resurrections. You're going to have to resurrect yourself, go through a a rebirth or a becoming a new being. And when you become going into this, you're going into this realm made new. And so when will you be ready? You also have some emotional recovery to make. So maybe, are you going because you are running from something? Are you running from a some, like running away? Are you running away from something? So that's also in thinking of why why are you going? I mean, if you're going for adventure, I can understand that. But if you're going in order to get away from someone, you may not be. What it's saying is you need to start doing that work first before you leave. You need to really evaluate. You want to start over to get away from negative people. You need to, if you're having a heartbreak issues, all these things, you need to really be. You need to work on those things before you get on the plane. Before you jump on the plane. You have a lot of mental preparations that you have to make before you can leave. Because these things will all follow you there. And they will get into your way. They will stand in your way of being able to do what it is that you want to do in a new land. You're going to start over, and this kind of shows that the tower there. The tower is a new start, but going through a tower experience. Your whole world coming unglued and beginning again. What sits on the other end of the tower is a new beginning. It is a new beginning. But to do this, you have to come into your power. You need to come into your power. So freed from you take the knowledge that you have and you're going to rebuild an entire life about when you go. Yeah. Okay, so you already went through a tower moment. Scary and lonely, yes. Moving to a new continent is going to be hard. That's what this is telling me, but it's going to require that you really grasp what it is that you're doing and have your goals written down in a very concrete manner. And so let's just take a look at what these energies are. So I don't know when you can, I'm assuming that you can leave as soon as you have the visas, as soon as you have your destinations in mind, where you're going to go. What are you going to do? Are you going to go to school? Are you going to a college? Are you going to university, get a four, like a bachelor's degree, or you're getting a master's degree, a PhD, higher education? Or are you going there to get a job? Yeah. So you're going to have to free yourself from those who are manipulating you. And that's what I see here. So you have to take the reins of your life and be independent of those who tell you no. And so if we look at what is the energy of this process here, we have a lot of these court cards here. 14 plus 14. What are we looking with up and down energies here? My up energy is 27. Looking at the 27 is the up energy, and the down energy is 17, 27, 20, 29, 33. Down and up. So it's essentially what you got going on is your mental state is not in harmony. So you're in a state of disharmony. So you're going to have to find out why, figure out why you are not in a harmonious mental state, because this will get in your way of being able to, it'll hamper everything that you're going to try to do in this move. So you have to figure out why it is. So this is part of your mental preparations. So your mental preparations mental preparations. So you have to you need to work on rebalancing your emotional self. Emotional, intellectual self. Your emotional, intellectual self. Start thinking in terms of rationality. You need to work on getting really rational here. Rational. Start making lists. So you need to really think in terms of your rationality, your reason, your logic. These are the types of energies that you need to be thinking about and really examining the question of why are you doing this? You need to ask yourself why. And have a good grasp of the why. Why? And then what are you trying to achieve? Okay? Because being out of whack emotionally Environment is one factor. So you want to go someplace where there is more, I can understand that, less pollution, less your environment, your physical environment, your family environment. So these are the things you got to really grapple with. And then because when you get there, you're going to be faced with things that are very difficult to deal with. And if you're leaving because you're running, it's going to be, it may cripple you, and it may be a crippling thing so that you will not be achieving what it is you wish to achieve. And so, and the other energy here is of a sense of completion. And of course, in a sense of completion, and maybe in this sense, what I can see is that because you're out of balance, and rebalancing yourself will bring you into a place where you can head right into a new beginning. To begin again, or to have that resurrection where that word resurrection, actually, it really, you got to look that word up, and in part of your mental preparations, look at what that means. In a sense of you look at it in a sense of a metaphor. So the metaphoric meaning of metaphoric resurrection. That's literally what you are going to be doing here. Rebalancing yourself in this, and then you come into a different state of being. So when will you be ready to go? So you will be ready to go when you have gone through your mental preparations and you figured out exactly why it is that you are going, and also coming at this from a place of power versus a place of weakness, a place of strength versus a place of weakness. Does that make any sense? But physically, you're ready to go as soon as you have all the correct paperwork in order. The money, the destination, the money, the visas, the plane tickets. There are all these factors. When you have all those things in order, and then you have that date of when you're going to leave, you're packed, the packing. As soon as you have those things in order, then you can go. That's what I feel. So you have, because when you buy that plane ticket, you are committed to going. Well, you can always get your money back. You're going, when you pay the money to go to school, You pay the money to go to that university. That's a commitment. You've made those commitments. You've made the commitments. Then you're going. And when you arrive there, what I guess what the cards are just saying is you just really need to get your brain in order before you go. That's all. I hope that made any. I hope that helped. GTWC, are you still here? GTWC, are you still here? All right. If you have any further questions, Humira, after GTWC is done, I can answer another question. She says, you had a question yesterday that we didn't get to. Let's go start by clearing the air here. And more emotional. All right. Let me write your name down, GTWC. This is 827, 828. Where did summer go to? I can't believe how fast this summer has gone by. It just seemed like just yesterday that it was June 21st. The days are getting shorter and everything. We're heading into a new cycle. I mean, heading into fall, into winter. But we're going to clear the air, and I'm going to get my mind focused down onto GTWC. GTWC has a question. Mother Mary, please tell us the truth. GTWC has a question. Mother Mary, please tell us the truth. Yeah. Yeah, it has been going by. It's going by fast and slow at the same time. For those people listening in, if you want to drop in into the chat where you're tuning in from. Hmm. We are doing a reading. So you got like two different questions here. So it looks like you have two questions. You have three questions actually. Your first question is, what does the future have in store for me? One, two. Okay, that's fine. I'm still waking up. I don't usually come on this early. I was thought I was going to be driving my mom to a doctor's appointment, but I was like a whole. Okay, does our love GTWC. All right. So we got one yes/no question, and then our third question is, how can GTWC be more emotionally regulated? How can GT regulate emotions? Emotions. Okay. Oh, those are some big questions you got there. Those are big questions. All right. Well, I'm gonna do some centering prayers here first, GTWC, in order to just to get my get me here. If you want to like center your mind down too, just kind of try to bring your mind right to this moment, GTWC, so that you can be here with me. That we can connect up on a spiritual plane. Mother Mary, please tell us the truth. Mother Mary, please tell us the truth. Okay. Okay, I'm going to mix these cards up and just do some initial shuffling, and I'm going to give you some instructions while I am doing things, and so I want you to be participating in this process with me, GTWC. We're going to start with your first question. So I'm asking, what I'm going to start shuffling. What does the future hold for GTWC? I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay? You can tell me when to stop shuffling. Did you want me to stop shuffling now? Just when you want me to say stop, okay. All right. I'm going to do 4 cards here. And this is about your future. This is all based upon how you feel right today in this moment. So there's a couple different things that are going on here. You're headed in a particular direction. But at the same time, you don't want to go. You don't want to go where spirit is pushing you to go. So you are kind of stuck. You're both heading towards tomorrow, but at the same time, you want to pull back and stay right here and today. So you have this tug of war going on, this push and pull between moving and staying. Okay, that's one thing. And then the other thing is that what you have is that you're in a position where you got to fight stuff off. You're feeling like you are being defensive in a chaotic state, but at the same time, you're kind of giving in to these attacks that are on your person. You're being attacked, and you're kind of rolling over, and you're being influenced by other people, influenced by what they want you to do. So that sense of you're moving in this direction, but at the same time, you're moving in a direction that is pushed by other people. So it's a matter of where are you heading? You're heading into going someplace that you do not want to go. You're heading where you do not want to go, and you're tired of fighting it, and so you're just going to go. But at the same time, you are digging your feet in and say, hey, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. That's what I see here. And what's the outcome here? The outcome here is that you are heading, you're going into a place where of loneliness and isolation, and you need advice, but it looks like you're ignoring any wise advice. So if you're folks, you maybe go to your dad or your mom or your grandparents, and you're asking for advice, and they're giving you advice, but you're just taking their advice and you're chucking it out the window, and not looking at what is the right thing to do in this moment. So what you need to do is you have to ignore this impulse that you have to ignore what people are telling you, and you have to actually need to think about why they're telling you to do this, and ask the questions, why are you giving me this advice? And really think about that advice and apply that advice to your life, because otherwise you're going to be pushed around by other people all the time. You're going to be withdrawing into yourself, maybe getting a victim complex and thinking in terms of why me. But you can take responsibility for yourself. People, instead of giving in to what others around you are doing, you can get up on a higher place and shore up your defenses. You can mentally move out of this place into a more settled place, because you take advice of others. others who have been in the same place that you've been before. Because it's guaranteed that you're not alone in what you're feeling. Probably your mom and your dad, your parents or your grandparents have been in this place before, and they've probably been in the same place that you've been at. They've probably been in that place multiple times. So it's taking advice of wise people around you and applying that advice, and so that you can move. There's this direction that you're traveling. You can move into this new space with a different way of dealing about things. And then see what this other card here it says is that how you are dealing with things is by not being smart about things. So it's asking you to be a little bit smarter about how you approach these situations, and really learn for yourself. Learn for yourself how to deal with this. Now, if it's like some emotional situation, it may mean that you may need to see a therapist if you can afford seeing a therapist, because sometimes they can, if your insurance will pay for it. But now, if your insurance will not pay for it, then it's having that person in your life where you can tell them what the hell's going on, and they're not going to judge you or negatively judge you. If you have that person in your life, that then no matter what you tell them, that they will love you anyway, and they will be that problem solver that you can bounce those ideas off of. Now, if you don't have that person in your life, the other thing you can do is you can journal. Journaling is you take all this stuff that's in you and you write it down. And a long time ago, I used journaling a lot. I would go to mass. I'd go to the sanctuary. I go sit in a church. I was in a Catholic sanctuary. Or go to a monastery. Go to a quiet place of solitude. If there's a monastery around, you don't have to be a part of that religious organization in order to go to a monastery. I recommend monasteries as safe places to go. If it's got like a park bench or something like that, you go the grounds, maybe go into the sanctuary, you go in there with your journal, you turn your phone off, you go sit in the quiet. And if you do not know what you feel, you can start with the question. You can start your journal entry with the question, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Start here with what am I feeling, because sometimes we don't know what we're feeling. And then start moving your pen. Sometimes we get into this state and you will begin, it's hard to drag this stuff out, but you write down everything that comes into your mind and you just write it down. Keep writing until you just get tired and you stop. You don't have to actually go back and read that stuff. That's not necessary. And then you keep doing that. Maybe you do go back and read it once a week. You go back and you try to look for what the patterns are. If there are some really deep, serious issues and you do go to a monastery, you can get free spiritual direction by going to a monastery. Maybe it's a Buddhist monastery. Maybe it's a Catholic monastery. Maybe it's an Orthodox monastery. And I think there might even be some Lutheran monasteries too. I've heard that. I don't know what country you live in. If you live in the United States, then these services that I'm talking about are available. And like I say, you can go to a monastery and and if you're an atheist, okay, you live in California, you can go to these places and not subscribe to anything that they believe in. You can go, you can and you don't have to believe what they believe. But you can go to a monastery, you can go someplace and actually talk to a person. And that's a possibility. These are all possibilities. Okay, so let's go take a look at what the energies here are here. I'm going to go with the up energies and the down energies. And if I remember right, we were looking at the numerology. And actually, you had mostly down energy, one up energy, and that was an 8. And so you were manifesting this sense of 7 plus 6 is 12, 13, 14, 24, 24, 33. And just like with the last person, what you are in this sense is you're manifesting your own disharmony. You're manifesting disharmony in your life. And so that's what you're in the process of doing. GTWC, you're in the process of manifesting, and this is what's in your future, is manifesting your own disharmony. I hope that helps. But let's go on to the next question. And we're looking at, this is a yes/no question. Yeah. The manifestation of disharmony. Okay, let's go mix these cards up a little bit. I'm going to mix ups and downs and ups and downs. All right. Does R love you? I am going to start shuffling, and you're going to tell me when to stop. Does R love GTWC? This is a 3-card yes/no. Does R love GTWC? Does R love GTWC? Does R love GTWC? Okay. So it looks like it's a soft yes. So R loves you, and it's not a hard yes, it's a soft yes. So, but what we have in it, there's some passion. There's this creative spark that exists between you two. And in this place, there's a feeling of a loss of control. Like you are not in this state. You and she are, you and are not in control of it. It's sort of like being a leaf blowing around in the wind. And that's kind of when you're together, there's this storm of emotions that is going around. And you're just blowing around there and in this place of loss of control. But at the same time, there's a lot of work that's involved in it. So that's kind of what's involved in what the state of this relationship is that there is some love that is there because it looks like it's more passionate, like it could be more like maybe more lust, more infatuation, lust, um, sexual love, because of this loss of control, as you're in that emotional storm, you just sort of kind of stuck there. But at the same time, there's a lot of work to be done. Okay? Does that help? So we're looking at number 2. We're looking at the 7 and 9. Down energy of wait. But this 9 energy looks like it's maybe this kind of it may mean that your relationship is going to head into a new phase. So you're kind of pulling back a little bit because you're going to be heading into someplace new. And what do we have down here on the bottom? So again, we got this page of a page of cups that's in a up downright position. It's heading into a place of maybe kind of a blocked immaturity. So the things that you got to work on here is that what you may be heading in this relationship, it may not be necessarily such a great place. Whereas maybe now you may feel very creative when you're with this person, but it looks as though you're heading into a place where it's not going to be all that emotionally fulfilling. Like your cup of emotions is going to be running right down out on the ground. And so what we're looking at all, let's see, 7 plus 7 and 9, 11, 20, 27, 2, 7, 9. So what numerically, it looks like this is heading towards an ending, is what it kind of looks like. It just may be that this state of out of controlness, so it might be, you may be heading into an end of some kind, an ending of some kind. That's kind of what it looks like. There is love there, but that love may be rooted more in, welcome, Maria, it may be rooted more in lust, sexual lust, rather than anything really real. But to make it work, it's going to require a shit ton of work. So that's what it's telling me, is that if you want this relationship to work, you guys are going to have to work it. You're going to have to really, really work it. And you have to find out to see if it's even worth it, because you may not be feeling energized by it. You may be getting wiped out and drained out. And that's kind of what I see here in this. Then you have your last, how can you regulate your emotions better? Welcome, Maria. I'm here early. I actually got up early today. Oh, so you're moving towards becoming roommates. I see. Yeah. Yeah, so the passion is starting to move out of there. And so how you can regulate your emotions better, probably one of the things you can do is you gotta do some things for yourself. Do some things that don't involve this other person. Rediscover who you are. Take time away. So when you are all angry and you're getting hot and bothered and angry at this person, then it's that point of time is you got to take a step back. That's where, if you can afford it, going to see a therapist, if you've never seen a therapist before, and you can really help you to give you some strategies on how to do that. But there are some things you can do. You got to stop and take a step back, and really kind of think about that, because the you're manifesting your disharmony. You're manifesting this an unloving attitude. You're manifesting maybe hate. Yeah. That's because it's no, therapy is because we all need it from time to time, because we all need a guide. We need that person. You need that person you can talk to, where you have that situation where you can have this trust that they're not going to negatively judge you for things. Whereas, like, sometimes parents can, friends can. Having that sounding board to sound things off of. And so how do you regulate your emotions better? Well, one of the things that Yes, you are manifesting disharmony in your actions. You are manifesting a lack of love in this situation. How do you regulate your emotions? Well, you regulate your emotions by by physically removing yourself from this situation for a short time. So you are living with this person, you're becoming roommates, your hot love is cooling down, going into a quiet place. And that whole journaling thing, that's a big help. Things that do not help regulate your emotions is um, you're good at, but it's yeah, that's right. It's easy to it's easy to it's easy to play a game when you're on the sidelines. And it's easy to see what needs to be done when you're on the sidelines. And so what you got to do, GTWC, is take a step out of yourself and look at your life as though you were on the sidelines. Look at your life as you were on the sidelines. And so it's like playing a sport or seeing what they need to do, or like playing chess. I don't know. I'm a chess player. I haven't played in a long time, but when I was younger, I played a lot of chess. When you're sitting behind the chessboard, moving your pieces, it is very difficult to see all the things that you need to do. But it's easy to see, I'm sure that you will be okay. But let's just ask that question. Will you be okay? You will be okay. Trust me. You know, tomorrow is a brand new day. Whatever happens, GTWC, you are going to be okay. There's our lives are these storms that we live in, and then eventually, you keep going on and going on and going on. Maybe you get married to this person. Maybe you don't. Maybe you find someone else. It is very hard. Life is hard. It's so hard. There are all these different challenges. Eventually, you go through your life, and you're going to be 50 years old. You're going to be 60 years old, and you'll look back, and you will have made it. You've made it through these things, and you can be a guide for someone else. But I believe in you that you will be okay, and it is hard, and that's fine, because it is supposed to be hard. It is hard. There's nothing easy about living this life. There's nothing easy about it. And that's okay. So if I were to give you just a little bit of direction here, I'm going to go and get you a page number out of my, and we're going to be just looking at just a word, and I'm going to get you a page number here. This is the last thing. I'm going to randomly select this page number with these two tops. And we'll see what Spirit has for you of some encouragement. 13, 13. Oh, it jumped the tracks. 137. One more digit. 1372. 10. You know, it's just what I was thinking it would be. So automatically, what you need to do here is you're going to be working on the foundation. You're going to be rebuilding the foundation of your life. So the first off here, 4. 4 is a number about stability, about foundations, and it's about developing your foundation, becoming more stable in your life. So 1372, let's just look through here and see what this oracle has to say for you. 1372. And see if there's some words there that we can latch onto, something that will make sense. 1372. So one of the things that you need in order to is you need to have faith. And when I was talking about having faith here, I'm not talking about this in a religious sense. Anything that I'm talking about is not coming from, I am a Catholic. I grew up in the church, and I haven't left the church, but I'm approaching the mythology as though it were an oracle. Like I was looking at a deck of tarot cards, or I was looking at an oracle deck. That's how I'm approaching this, just as to let you know. So you have to think about your foundation, and you have your faith, that this belief in yourself. To believe in yourself. So it's asking you to believe in yourself and your ability to learn new things. Learn new things. To learn new things. To learn new skills. Learn new skills. And so we go back to the first card spread, and there's the guy working on the workbench, and so it's about learning new skills in your life, new coping skills. That's one thing. Okay, so God our Father, you raised up John the Baptist to prepare a perfect people for Christ the Lord. Give your church in joy and spirit. Okay, so it's looking for your building up your faith and preparing the road for and so you're preparing how do you spell that word? Prepare. Pre-R-E. Preparing the road. Preparing the road for a new journey. So you're looking at needing to shore up your faith, your foundations of your life. Figure out what it is. So you're looking at your emotional stability. So talking to somebody, talking through these things, getting a little bit outside of yourself, learning new skills, preparing the road for a new journey. So you're learning new skills. You need to learn new coping methods. So the things that you have been using to cope are no longer serving you. So you have to prepare the road for a new journey. Build the foundation of you. And learn how to love. Learn how to love. So you recently stopped drinking. Okay, learn how to love. So the drinking is that's good. That's good. Learn how, and so learning how to love. And so when we think about in a sense of what we're looking at, in using this as an oracle, learning how to love. And you're welcome. Learning how to love, and love is in a sense of what in a Jesus sense. Jesus as the ascended master, not Jesus as not Christianity as it is manifested in our country today. Not that. But we look at Jesus as the ascended master. Love comes through the service of others. It's an action. Love is a verb. It's also a noun, but it's not necessarily a feeling, but it is something that you do. And so you are doing things for yourself. In learning how to love yourself, you are, by stopping drinking, going to therapy, you are learning new coping methods on how to regulate your emotions. So what do I in my past, when I was younger, what did I do to regulate my emotions? I smoked cigarettes. Or I turned to other things to regulate your emotions, like the P word, the corn. I guess that's would be looking at that pornography. That as a means to regulate your emotions. These things. I'm just being real here. Real talk. Real talk. Being real. These things that you do to escape, to get out of yourself. Escapism. Maybe you go to the movies. You escape into entertainment. You escape. Yeah, real talk. Being just real with yourself. Because these are all things that we all go through. We all suffer through these same things. That's why the tarot as an oracle works, because we all go through the same crap over and over again. It's a continual thing. Anyways, that's all I got for you. It's got to work on your foundation. Rebuild the foundation of your life. Faith, hope, love. Faith, hope, love. All of that stuff. Yeah, we're all at different levels. Yeah. Yeah. So you want to manifest not disharmony, you want to manifest harmony in your life and working on how to do that. All right, I hope that that helps. I hope that that helps. Hmm. You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're gonna we're just gonna just give a word from Mother Mary here. Mother Mary. I don't know if anybody else has a question or anything like that, but for Mother Mary, Mary, a word of encouragement for GTWC. A word of encouragement for GTWC. The road is being prepared to start on a new journey. GTWC seeks a word of encouragement, a word of hope, a word of faith, a word of love. We have that angel number 919. It's the ending of one cycle and the beginning of a brand new cycle. GTWC is the road is being prepared to begin a new cycle. A word of encouragement. All right, we're going to do this card right here. Our Lady of Blessing Bestowed. Sometimes we need signs from Spirit to help us remain devoted to our sacred life path. When evidence of success in the physical realm eludes us, there is an art to detaching from outcome while still doing everything within our power to commit yourselves to what matters to your heart. Blessings are taking shape. Although you cannot see it now, your soul is pulling off a master stroke of healing manifestation. And so this image is for you from Mother Mary. Mother Mary is waving at you, is praying over you, praying for you to be healed from the inside out. All right. Is there anybody else who has any other questions? Thank you very much for letting me read for you today. GTWC and Humera. And if anybody else wants to have a question, I have some more time. Thank you for the hearts. But if not, we will, I'll conclude this reading session for right now, and thank you very much for holding space with me for these last 90 minutes, I guess. 90 minutes. All right. Maybe I'll just do a word for all of us from my Crosswords Oracle and energy. Let's just start by clearing the air, though. We'll clear the air. Another word for all of us here. All right. 2 and 8. Balancing your manifestations. You might start buying crosswords again. Yeah, I haven't bought them for years. I still have a lot left over. Dream big. Trust. Trust that your depleted heart energy will be refueled. Live rent-free in your dreams. There's one message is live rent-free in your dreams. Take a trip on a boat across the sea and begin a new adventure. Row that boat with vigor and trust that everything will be okay. All right. There we go. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you the next time. This is Tools of Fortune. My name's Bill, and I'll be reading for you again later. Where did that other rubber band go to? All right, good night. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is 10:52 here. All right, bye-bye. Bye for now.